7 days passed, and the black-clothed girl from Donghua Island was still imprisoned in the Black Division. Although her cultivation had been sealed by 10 magic sealing rings, she remained extremely uncooperative and continuously cursed Qing. However, because sound could not pass through the dungeon room, none of her curses could reach him. Instead of becoming exhausted, she became even more frantic as the 7 blood eyes continued to keep her imprisoned without releasing her. After Qing learned of her condition, he ordered another 10 magic sealing rings to be placed on her body. The additional sealing power greatly increased the suppression on her cultivation. This made the girl even more furious and crazy. But because she no longer had much strength, the frequency of her daily cursing decreased. Qing never personally went to see her. He only checked her condition through the reports submitted to him and otherwise ignored her. He felt there was no need to rush her release. What interested him more was the attitude of the 7 blood eyes. Apart from the day the incident happened, the sect had not questioned him or issued any further instructions, seemingly giving him complete authority over the matter. Qing had never experienced such an unusual situation within the 7 blood eyes before. He wondered whether this was related to his status as a sequence cultivator. However, Qing knew his own limits and would never foolishly kill the black-clothed girl openly. If he ever decided to kill her, he would wait until she had been released and no one was paying attention. For the moment, he was waiting for the sect's next instructions. He believed the matter could not end so easily. The 7 blood eyes had been in the right and would naturally demand an explanation from the other side to preserve its reputation. Even during wartime, the sect's reputation remained extremely important. Qing therefore suspected that the sect's silence was actually a form of tacit approval, allowing him to handle the prisoner as he saw fit for the time being. During these 7 days, Qing was also dispatched twice in his capacity as an image disciple to welcome visitors from other races. His position brought him increasing fame among the non-human races. Some female cultivators from those races even took the initiative to request meetings with him. And every non-human female cultivator who saw Qing was stunned by his appearance. Although the various races were different, the human race had once been the ruler of the Wanggu continent. Even after the human race declined, the understanding of human appearance and beauty that had been engraved into the bloodlines of the non-human races had not disappeared. As a result, Qing received a large number of gifts from the visitors, with the gifts eventually filling an entire storage bag. This immediately made Ding Shui and Jiyu Muxing vigilant. At the same time, Qing's impatience was reduced considerably because the gifts he received were quite valuable. However, this pleasant situation did not last long. The attention surrounding the nosepiece of the Sea Corpse race's ancestral corpse statue gradually faded, and many of the visiting races began leaving. Only a few allied races, such as the Starfish race, remained in the main city. They were busy purchasing large quantities of goods. The young girl from the Starfish race appeared especially interested in Qing and visited him many times. However, after giving Qing a gift when they first met, she did not give him anything during her later visits. Instead, she innocently asked him various questions, seemingly extremely curious about him and wanting to understand him completely. Qing dealt with her once, but afterward he directly refused her subsequent visits. At the same time, Qing and the captain received new positions because of their achievements. Qing had previously been the deputy director of the 7th Peak's Homicide Department. Because of his great contributions, he was promoted to director and now controlled the entire Homicide Department of the 7th Peak. The captain's situation was different. He should originally have been promoted to deputy minister of the Homicide Ministry, which controlled the homicide departments of all 7 Blood Eyes' 7 mountain peaks. However, for some reason, he did not go to the ministry. Instead, he transferred to the 7th Peak's intelligence department and became its director. The captain considered this position far better than becoming a deputy minister. He explained that the intelligence department was a place he had always dreamed of entering. There, he could obtain information about almost everything, whether it involved planting spies outside the sect, screening for spies within the sect, or investigating information concerning the non-human races. These were all areas in which he excelled, and the position would make it much easier for him to uncover valuable opportunities. On his first day as director of the intelligence department, the captain called Zhang San and went to Qing's residence in high spirits. The three of them sat together and drank. Zhang San was happy that both Qing and the captain had been promoted, but he also felt somewhat bitter about being left behind. He jokingly asked them to remember him the next time they went out to cause trouble. He said that if the captain lost half of his body again, at least Zhang San could be there to carry him back. The captain responded by eating an apple and patting Zhang San on the shoulder, joking that Zhang San should not be jealous because he still cared about him. Afterward, the captain noticed that Xu Qing was sitting there distractedly, apparently thinking about something. He asked Xu Qing what he was doing. Xu Qing then revealed that he was thinking about how to improve his poison so that it could pose a threat to golden core cultivators. This was something Xu Qing had been considering for some time. His main direction of research was the black bugs he had obtained previously. During his battle with the black-clothed girl, Xu Qing had already used up most of those black bugs. However, after collecting the remaining ones, he realized that directly using them in battle was too wasteful and failed to bring out their true potential. Xu Qing faintly sensed that he had not yet completely unleashed the power of these tiny black bugs. After all, they had been created by a golden core expert. There was no reason for their power to have fallen to such a low level that they could not even instantly suppress a cultivator with 3 fires. Therefore, Xu Qing began thinking about how to further develop the black bugs and transform their potential into a poison powerful enough to threaten golden core cultivators. Xu Qing's attitude had changed, and Zhang San and the captain were surprised that he was already thinking about ways to deal with golden core cultivators. The captain then explained that he was now the director of the intelligence department while Xu Qing was the director of the homicide department. Although the 2 departments had previously been at odds, they were now working together. The captain proposed using their positions to build achievements, control the 7th peak, and fully exercise the authority of a peak lord before the war ended. This would allow them to become cultivators with real power and make it harder for the elders to interfere when they returned. Xu Qing, however, only wanted to enter seclusion and study his poison. The captain repeatedly tried to persuade him by pointing out that he needed money and poison testers. But Xu Qing said he had enough for now. Just as the captain was thinking of another way to draw Xu Qing into his plans, Xu Qing suddenly thought of a key point regarding the refinement of the little black bugs. He immediately left for his magic ship, activated its protective barrier, and began experimenting with medicinal herbs and poisons. Zhang San and the captain soon heard an explosion and saw poisonous fog spreading from the ship. Realizing that Xu Qing's experiments were dangerous, they quickly left for the transportation department. Xu Qing spent the entire night trying to stimulate the little black bugs. Most attempts failed, and only the flesh of a golden core octopus had a significant effect, greatly increasing their numbers. However, Xu Qing realized that relying on the flesh and blood of golden core cultivators made the bugs impractical. He wanted them to become a trump card capable of intimidating golden core cultivators. So he suspected that he had not yet found the correct method. He then remembered the pharmacopoeia given to him by Grandmaster Bai. Xu Qing deeply treasured the book and regarded Grandmaster Bai as his true first master. Because Grandmaster Bai had played a crucial role in helping him enter the Tao of vegetation and develop his Tao of poison. While searching the book for inspiration, Xu Qing recalled Grandmaster Bai's words that although the Tao of insects and the Tao of medicine appeared different, their fundamental nature was similar and they could complement each other. His attention fell on the 4th night orchid, a medicinal herb favored by ferocious beasts. It was useless to cultivators but could increase the intelligence of beasts that had not developed spirituality. And it was also one of the basic ingredients for the transformation pill. Xu Qing decided to experiment with it. He went to a medicinal shop at Port 176 and purchased the 4th night orchid along with many other beast-rearing herbs and poisonous grasses. The large number of expensive ingredients caused him some heartache, but he returned to his magic ship and continued experimenting. 7 more days passed. During this period, the 7th peak was filled with tension after the captain, Chen Erniu, became the new director of the intelligence department. His first action was to announce that he would search for moles. Working together with the patrol department, they investigated every department, including foundation building cultivators. Because of his high status, the disciples could only submit to the investigations and regarded the captain as a rabid dog. Meanwhile, after countless experiments, Xu Qing finally discovered 7 medicinal herbs that clearly stimulated the growth of the little black bugs. However, he determined that blood and flesh were still necessary for the bugs to continue growing. At least, with these medicinal herbs, he no longer needed the flesh and blood of golden core beings. With a cold glint in his eyes, Qing went to the underground prison of the Black Division that evening. When the captain had previously asked whether he needed poison testers, Qing had said he had enough because the prisoners of the Black Division served as his poison testers. Most of the prisoners were wanted criminals who had committed serious crimes, including Night Dove, and many foundation-building cultivators were also imprisoned there. Only a small number were human, while most were non-humans. Qing regretted that no Golden Core cultivators had been imprisoned since the homicide department was established. He then developed a bold thought: if he had the opportunity in the future, he wanted to capture several Golden Core cultivators alive. Qing headed to the Black Division of Port 176 late at night. During the intelligence department's recent crackdown, everyone was in a state of panic, and the sex benefit-based system had also created many spies and informants. Qi condensation disciples had little sense of belonging, while foundation-building cultivators were willing to sell information for benefits despite the consequences. Qing ignored all of this and arrived at the Black Division with the little mute following behind him. The guards immediately knelt and greeted him as director. Qing had already become a legendary figure in the homicide department because of his rapid rise in cultivation, his achievements against the Sea Corpse race, and his suppression of the little princess of Donghua Island, who was still imprisoned there. He entered the underground prison, where hundreds of cages held wanted non-human criminals surrounded by numerous formations and restrictions. The prisoners initially mocked, cursed, and provoked him, believing that they had nothing left to fear because they had little chance of ever leaving the prison. Even the black-clothed girl grabbed the bars despite the formations burning her hands and crazily claimed that she had cursed Qing 2.737.856 times. Qing ignored their provocations and selected a goat-headed cultivator, a mutated beast and Night Dove member whose foundation-building cultivation had been sealed. After pulling it from its cage, Qing covered it with medicinal powder and then released his little black bugs into its body. The goat-headed cultivator initially dismissed the poison, but soon began trembling and bleeding from its 7 orifices. The black bugs then emerged, and Qing carefully examined them. He discovered that their aura had only become slightly denser, far less than expected based on his previous research involving 7 medicinal herbs and living flesh and blood. To determine where the problem lay, Qing calmly dissected the goat-headed cultivator alive and examined its organs. He then repeated the experiment on a merfolk prisoner who had previously spat at him. As the same process continued, the other prisoners gradually fell silent. They were not necessarily afraid of death, but they had never imagined being captured, dissected alive, and used as research subjects. Seeing the fate of the others caused their fear to grow rapidly. Qing became completely immersed in his research, repeatedly testing criminals, dissecting their bodies, and analyzing the little black bugs. Blood from different races gradually covered the prison floor. After Qing dissected the 34th criminal, even the black-clothed girl stopped cursing him and began trembling in fear. Qing left early in the morning after gaining many new ideas. The homicide department disciples later entered the prison but did not immediately clean the scene because the prisoners were notorious criminals who had killed, raped, robbed, and even raised humans as food. Afterward, Qing bought more medicinal herbs and poisonous grasses and returned to his magic ship to continue his research. After midnight, he returned to the prison, and this time none of the criminals dared to mock or provoke him. 3 more days passed as Qing continued experimenting, and rumors of his terrifying methods spread throughout the Black Division. Eventually, all the non-human prisoners in the dungeon died except the black-clothed girl. Qing ordered the Yellow Division to send more prisoners, and the same process continued. Each prisoner initially mocked him, then became terrified, and finally trembled in despair. Qing's research on the little black bugs became increasingly successful. By adding corpse poison, he greatly increased their number and destructive power. Once they entered a non-human criminal's body, they could devour the flesh and blood within a few breaths, leaving only bones. However, Qing was still dissatisfied because the bugs were too easy to detect and defend against. He wanted them to remain hidden inside the target like poison. He therefore ordered the homicide department to bring prisoners from the Earth Division for further experiments. The black-clothed girl was deeply affected by everything she had witnessed. Qing's cold and emotionless expression as he repeatedly researched and dissected prisoners had made her understand fear for the first time. When the new prisoners arrived, Xu Qing released a large amount of black fog around himself. The girl stared at him while trembling, then timidly bit her finger and extended it toward him as if asking whether he wanted to eat it. When Xu Qing ignored her, she withdrew her hand and sucked her own blood. Finally, in a trembling voice, she asked, "Brother Xu Qing, can you let me help?" Xu Qing continued researching the little black bugs, deciding that making them smaller was the better direction because they could then kill silently without being detected. He fed them corpse poison and the poisons he had refined over the previous 2 years, seeking to increase their resistance and create his first true active poison. He spent large amounts of spirit stones purchasing medicinal herbs and poisonous grasses, eventually discovering substances that caused the bugs to shrink. After repeated testing and adjustments, he succeeded in refining them to a much smaller size. Because all the prisoners in the homicide department had died, Xu Qing ordered the 7th Peak's homicide department to arrest wanted criminals so he could continue his poison experiments. This triggered a massive wave of arrests throughout the port area and greatly improved public security. The captain, unwilling to fall behind, intensified the intelligence department's operations and captured spies every day. Xu Qing became known in the sect as a demon, while the captain became known as a mad dog, especially after news spread that Xu Qing had used homicide department prisoners for poison testing. When the other 6 peaks refused to provide prisoners, Xu Qing began sending his subordinates into other districts to capture wanted criminals. The captain soon followed his example, causing the intelligence and homicide departments across the 7 Blood Eyes to compete intensely. This continued for another half a month, until the 7 Blood Eyes army entered Sea Corp's race territory and began its decisive battle, bringing these operations to an end. By then, Xu Qing had researched the little black bugs extensively and had even fed them black pills. Their quantity had increased from half a bottle to 5 bottles, each containing countless bugs that appeared like black liquid. They were less than half the size of the previous version, and a single bug was too small to be seen with the naked eye. Although their color remained black, large numbers of them looked like black fog. Their lethality had also increased dramatically. Once they entered an enemy's body, they immediately reproduced and began devouring flesh and blood while releasing enormous amounts of anomalous substances and poison. They were extremely difficult to remove and would penetrate deeply into the body. Xu Qing believed that if he had possessed these bugs during his previous battle with the black-clothed girl, she would probably have died within a few breaths. He therefore felt that the bugs could barely meet his requirements and might be capable of threatening golden core cultivators. Although he had no golden core poison tester available to confirm this, Xu Qing also realized that the bugs could continue to grow stronger. He hoped he would never have to test them on a golden core cultivator, because doing so would mean risking his own life. To control the countless bugs, he dripped his blood into the 5 bottles. The bugs needed to absorb a drop of his blood periodically or they would die. So their instinct for survival caused them to protect Xu Qing because their survival depended on his survival. They also required large amounts of medicinal herbs and poisonous grasses every day, making their maintenance extremely expensive. Xu Qing's other gain was the black-clothed girl imprisoned in the Black Division. She had stopped cursing and quietly remained in her cell. Whenever new prisoners arrived and Xu Qing came to test his poisons, she would watch him, and the peculiarity in her eyes became increasingly obvious. She repeatedly said that she wanted to help, and Xu Qing could tell that she sincerely meant it. Meanwhile, Xu Qing's spirit stones were rapidly decreasing, since the port's construction and other projects were consuming enormous amounts of resources. He considered selling the fake magic artifacts that the Diamond Sect's ancestor had absorbed and transformed. While he was considering finding a black market, a red jade slip was transmitted from the battlefield to the 7th Peak's intelligence department. Red jade slips represented extremely important matters and could only be issued by Peak Lords. During the current war, they had been issued only 3 times, each concerning a major strategic opportunity requiring the sect's cooperation. This time, however, the message was unrelated to the war. It had been sent by Old Master 7th. After receiving the jade slip, the captain's expression changed drastically. He put aside the apple in his hand and went to find Xu Qing. When he arrived, Xu Qing was organizing the magic artifacts he intended to sell. Seeing the captain's solemn expression, Xu Qing immediately realized something was wrong. The captain told Xu Qing that Old Master 7th had arranged an urgent mission for him. He had to leave the Seven Blood Eyes and travel to Purple Earth. Since Old Master Seventh could not leave the battlefield, he had asked the captain to undertake the mission and also instructed him to ask whether Shu Qing wanted to go himself. The captain then handed the red jade slip to Shu Qing. After Shu Qing activated it with his magic power, the information appeared in his mind. Grandmaster Bai, Old Master Seventh's close friend, had been assassinated in Purple Earth that morning. Shu Qing was struck as if by lightning. His body became unsteady, and he staggered backward several steps. His face turned pale, his forehead veins bulged, and the hand holding the jade slip trembled. He struggled to control himself and calm his breathing before closing his eyes. In the darkness before him, he remembered Grandmaster Bai's tent and his aged, hoarse voice. Grandmaster Bai had once told him that he no longer needed to stand outside or take random medicinal herbs, and that from the next day onward, he could enter the tent and attend his lessons. He had also told Shu Qing that the world was a guesthouse for all living beings and that time was merely a passerby, saying that as long as they did not die, they would eventually meet again, and hoping that the next time he saw Shu Qing would be when Shu Qing had become a talented person. The image of the tent shattered into ashes and disappeared. But Grandmaster Bai's final words remained in Shu Qing's ears. As long as we don't die, we'll meet again eventually. Shu Qing slowly opened his eyes. Grandmaster Bai had been the first teacher who had truly changed his life. By noon, Shu Qing felt as if the world had suddenly lost its brightness. Although Port 176 remained bustling, all sounds seemed to disappear from his perception. The people, birds, and boats appeared isolated, leaving him with a strange feeling that the world had been divided into two layers: everything and everyone else, and only himself. The news of Grandmaster Bai's death came too suddenly. Shu Qing staggered and tightly gripped the railing of the magic ship, unable to immediately accept it. The sea breeze could not dispel the suffocating feeling in his chest. He recalled his past with Grandmaster Bai, including searching for the Heaven Fate flower at the scavenger campsite, Bai's deep gaze in the tent, and finally seeing the old man smile from the departing carriage. Now, everything was gone. Captain Lei had always given Shu Qing the feeling of family, while Grandmaster Bai had left him with a debt of gratitude as heavy as a mountain. Together, the two old men had helped pull him back from the city of blood and corpses beneath the opened eyes of the god's fragmented face. Yet this world remained heartless and cruel, with human life holding little value. After entering Seven Blood Eyes, Shu Qing had continued witnessing the cruelty of the world, from children being sold as food to brutal torture. Killing intent surged uncontrollably within him like a sharp blade trying to break out of his body and slash the world. After a long time, he forced himself to calm down and told the worried captain that he was fine. Shu Qing then examined the red jade slip again. Old Master Seventh had not only informed him of Grandmaster Bai's death but had also provided clues from Purple Earth and information concerning the murderer. The exact motive remained unknown, but after Grandmaster Bai was assassinated, nothing was taken from his belongings or residence except the second volume of the Lunar Chosen Transformation Pill formula. The formula had originally been obtained from a wishbox many years ago. It came from the previous era and was written on an unknown beast hide. Its contents were extremely vicious. The main ingredient was Heavens Chosen. 3 Heavens Chosen were required for one ingredient, and 6 such ingredients had to be refined simultaneously into a blood pill. Consuming it could allow a mortal to transform into a Heavens Chosen. Grandmaster Bai had obtained the second volume through a fortuitous encounter. Because he considered the pill too cruel, he had originally intended to destroy it, but he kept it because it still had value for pill research. Very few outsiders knew about its existence. Purple Earth was investigating the murderer's identity. Through Old Master Seventh's connections there, some clues had been obtained. The murderer was not human but a rare forbidden sea race known as the Bizarre Fiend race, also called an undying race. Their strange abilities made them extremely difficult to completely capture or kill because whenever one died, it could immediately revive inside a creature it had previously marked. Although this revival consumed energy, the amount was small. This greatly complicated Purple Earth's investigation. At the same time, Purple Earth itself was politically complicated, with various families openly and secretly fighting for benefits. Grandmaster Bai had been highly valued while alive, and many people had benefited from him, but he was ultimately only a mortal old man in his twilight years. To many cultivators, especially the stubborn people in power within Purple Earth, Even immortals' enormous contributions were ultimately inferior, and they regarded such people merely as tools. Therefore, although Purple Earth was enraged and launched an investigation after Grandmaster Bai's death, it did not devote much effort to it. Even those who had received Grandmaster Bai's kindness did not take action. The relationships between people disappeared once the people themselves were gone. Especially in such a cruel and chaotic world. Purple Earth did, however, block all teleportation leading outside and notified the Litu sect, Truth sect, and 7 Blood Eyes to seal their teleportation as well. Afterward, Purple Earth focused almost entirely on Grandmaster Bai's alchemy inheritance. Even the Bai family became divided, with some members wanting revenge while others began dividing his legacy. Because Old Master 7th could not return personally, he sent the red jade slip and entrusted the matter to the captain. Among the forces of the Nanwang continent, the 7th peak of 7 Blood Eyes had the greatest understanding of the Forbidden Sea and was particularly skilled at tracking and searching for non-human races there. The captain explained that an assassination like this probably involved only one murderer. Given the characteristics of the bizarre fiend race, there was a high possibility that the culprit was alone and was not at the Golden Core realm. Purple Earth's formation severely suppressed and restricted foreign golden cores, making them much easier to expose than foundation-building cultivators. Purple Earth had therefore made a similar request to 7 Blood Eyes. There was no need to investigate golden core cultivators. If the captain went personally, he would search for anomalous substances carrying the aura of the Forbidden Sea and combine them with special magic artifacts to screen for clues. However, the investigation could take some time, and it was uncertain how long Purple Earth's lockdown would continue, especially since the Bai family was only one of many families within Purple Earth. Xu Qing immediately said, "I'll go." Although his voice was calm and emotionless, the captain could sense the storm of killing intent contained within it. The captain told Xu Qing that he could open a hidden teleportation gate so that Xu Qing could return after finding the murderer. Xu Qing immediately understood that the real objective was not merely to catch the murderer but to find the mastermind behind the assassination. Xu Qing put away his magic ship and rushed towards 7 Blood Eyes' teleportation array. Although the teleportation network was sealed, one-way teleportation using the jade slip was still possible. Killing intent and anxiety continued merging within him, creating an increasingly heavy pressure in his chest and driving him forward at tremendous speed. His sudden acceleration caused the hearts of many people in 7 Blood Eyes' main city to tremble. Xu Qing soon appeared at the teleportation array and calmly ordered, "Purple Earth's capital city." The disciple operating the formation recognized him, adjusted the array, and activated it. 3 breaths later, Xu Qing disappeared within the teleportation light. The captain arrived shortly afterward and watched the teleportation array in silence. He understood Xu Qing's relationship with Grandmaster Bai from the intelligence department's records. Grandmaster Bai had recommended Xu Qing and eventually acknowledged him, so the captain knew Xu Qing did not want others interfering in this matter. He recalled that he himself had once wanted to face such matters alone and suppressed the sadness that surfaced in his heart. The captain then announced that the intelligence department had requisitioned the teleportation array and ordered his subordinates to take control of it. As the third-ranked member of the 7th Peaks Sequence and director of the 7th Peaks Intelligence Department, the captain formally requested that the sect's formations close all 7 Blood Eyes teleportation arrays and seal its ports, preventing all boats and ships from entering or leaving the harbor. The entire 7 Blood Eyes formation rumbled. The 6th peak sent a divine sense, and the captain respectfully requested permission to seal the sect, explaining that he had evidence and suspicions that might allow him to uncover the truth behind senior brother Chen's past murder. After a long silence, the 6th peak gave its approval. The captain bowed deeply and thought that this was the most he could do for Xu Qing. He hoped Xu Qing could successfully investigate the matter, but he felt that the assassination was far from simple. He then focused on the Lunar Chosen refinement pill, recalling that many Heavens Chosen had disappeared at sea in recent years.